listening to XRP Radio. Now, for probably the worst part of the whole weekend, we unfortunately present to you the Misguided Show.
Good morning, afternoon, evening, night owls, and welcome to the Misguided Show. Misguided it will be. We are here today to raise money for XRP Radio. That's right. Now, I will say that this is a pre-recorded show. However, I will be in the chat box when this show is aired. So come in, slag me off, and I'm not really too sure what else to say after that. But what I will say is that the XRP staff have very kindly let me have this segment of the Zerpathon weekend. Actually, the only reason why they let me do this is because they know that I've won money on horses, and they want it! Plus, with me being as kind and stupid as I am, I'm prepared to give it to them! The money, that is, I mean. Now, I know a lot of people don't have the cash because, well, basically they don't put stupid bets on horses. So, I'm going to devise, or I haven't devised anything really, I've just got a list of a few simple questions here for you to answer. Example, all of a sudden I'll be jumping in with ridiculous bets like £5 to anybody in the chat box who can answer this next question, and as long as there's over something like 6 people, you get the £5. So when you hear this little signature tune, will you remember this? Please will you remember this? Will you remember this? Please will you remember this? Incidentally, that was performed by the Mish Sissy Slave Girls 3. And try and say that after you've had 3 or 4 pints. So, without further ado, let's play some music. This is a track by... I've forgotten the name. It's Doghouse and the Wolff, and this is called Coke Monster.
So I went to a party, hoping to meet someone new who doesn't take speed. Walks into the kitchen, who should I see? A disciple of Escobar, holding coke in front of me. Pause for a moment, I had a little think. Went over to the sideboard and pulled myself a drink. I turned to face him, he looked back at me. I said, your stories, he said, what? Said they fascinate me. But I had to think quick. What should I do next? So I pulled out my phone and I pretended to text. Who you messaging? I said, Bronson, my mate. To be honest with you, it's a little bit late. What you after? I said, what you got? I got 3 grams left. Well, I'll take the fucking lot! Wait a minute. Have a little think. Is it worth all that money? Well, what do you fucking think? A cold monster! A cold monster! Quarter hash. Pulling out my wallet. No money feels sick. It's alright, mate. You can have your tick. Hang on a minute. What if it's no good? Well, you might not take the risk, but I know certainly would. 'Cause I'm a cool monster. I'm a cool monster. I'm a cool monster. back in the room. Everyone's looking at me. Well, I'm down to 2 grams. I'm keeping that. That's for me. Time to leave. So I'm making for the door. Any chance of another line, mate? I said, what the fuck did you take me for? That's burning my nose, is that? Anybody got any Karneh?
That actually goes on for ages, that does. That's Doghouse and the Wolff with Coke Monster. See, Tiz always interrupts that, before the end, where it goes like, anybody got any ketamine? And he always speaks beforehand. See, I get it right, unlike him. And I'll tell you why I always get it right and he doesn't, because he's a cap wearer. That's right. Right, moving on to the next song. Oh, that's the phone. Hang on a second. All right, where is it? Oh, hang on, can't find it. Hang on, getting it. It's under all this paper. Hello, XRP Radio, Society of the Cap Wearers, where they hide their illegal substances. How can I help you? The Mish speaking. Percival Perfection here. I'm here to give you a little warning. Oh, okay, go on. Your reputation precedes you, and it's of a fool. Well, that's very kind of you to say so, thank you. Everybody knows this. You know this. I am here to give you a warning and to remind you that we do not want to hear any of those languages. Oh, what you mean, like the English language? Don't be so insolent with me, dear boy. Oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. You will abide by these simple rules. Oh, dear. There will be no more songs that have references of drug misuse or violence or anything like that. Well, that's pretty much my set list. You will refrain from using that foulness of the English. Foulness of the English, refrain, right, okay. If you are unsuccessful in doing so, you will be taken off air. Yeah, that's probably going to happen anyway, really. Do you understand and comply with these rules, dear boy? I do. Right you are. Toodaloo. Who says toodaloo? Dear, oh dear, I don't know. Right, okay, actually, he didn't mention anything about, well, sexual references in songs and stuff, did he? So, we could be in for one here. Damn right. What you don't mention, you, Will you remember this? Please, will you remember this? Will you remember this? Please, will you remember this? One of Mishappenings' favourite films is Return of the Living Dead. I shall be asking that question later. Be prepared! Just copy and paste it into a WordPad or something, really. Now, as I'm not supposed to be using those languages as Percival Perfection has instructed me to do, I'm going to be kind enough to donate £1 every time that I accidentally swear. This is going to cost me a fortune, isn't it? So, open the casket of the Mishghoul! Okay, maybe I should have got a proper sound effect for that one. So, every time I swear, the Mishghoul will say something like...
£1.
Then I have to donate £1 to XRP Radio. And because there's going to be quite a lot of pound donations, I have enlisted ALC to do the counting. At the end, she will add it up, give me a total, and I will have to take a loan out. Right, I've waffled on far too much here. Let's get on with some more music. This is by a band called Tulenkulkijat. The track is called Kunnon Tyttö, and I can assure you all that I have not pronounced that correctly.
Sitä mitä ajat
Tulenkulkijat there with Commune Tyttö, Big Toe, Desmond Tutu. Probably not him. Again, I will apologise for the incorrect pronunciation of that, but then I can hardly speak English. So what do you expect, man? I mean, flippin' bloody hell!
£1.
I'll tell you something, right? There's a really hot bass player in that band. What is it about female bass players that they always seem to be really hot, don't they? I mean, vocalists, yeah, some of them are, you know. I mean, drummers, yeah, okay. Guitarists, not many, but you don't really care anyway because you're not really looking at guitarists. But bass players, that's a different matter. Unlike ALC, who usually doesn't because she's too lazy to actually do that. She doesn't want to brush it. Oh, dear, I did a cue for a song. ALC can't be bothered to brush her hair. Even on new band video, she just doesn't care. She knows she will look a lot better when she lets it down. But she's too lazy and she just makes all of us frown. Slut. Oh, I'm in trouble now, I'm in trouble now, I'm in trouble now. She's going to kick my ass. I'm in trouble now, I'm in trouble now, I'm in trouble with ALC. It's all in daft ass humour.
£1.
Hey? Oh, yeah, I said kick my... Yeah. So we're going to go a little bit synthwave here. And I do have a PPP to discuss with you about this. What does PPP stand for, you might ask yourselves? Well, PPP stands for Pissy Production Point.
£1.
Yes. Well, I had to explain to him what it meant, didn't I? So, PPP, the 3 Ps. This is by a band called Paper Foxes, and it's called Crystal Ball. Paper foxes there with crystal balls. Crystal ball. Now, the only issue I have with that really, aside from it being a little bit over-compressed, but yeah, you can live with that. I do think that the symbols are just slightly too high. They come across a little bit too powerful. I can hear you all saying now, he doesn't know what he's talking about. What a wanker! You'd actually be quite right about that, really. And they do it quite a lot too.
£1.
Whoa, hang on a second. That's not a swear word, is it?
Bear with us while we check information.
Okay, well, I've actually been informed that it is a vulgar word, and so I have to pay. Talking about paying, I have paid for these tracks that you are hearing. I did not suck up to Tiz and go, Tiz, can I have access to your database, please, for free? Because that's not the type of person I am. So if you're one of the bands I've played on this show, and you think you haven't seen any money, all you need to do is phone up Tiz and go, Oi, Tiz, you cap-wearing bastard face, where's my money?
£1.
But before you do that, make sure I haven't bought it from your Bandcamp or anything like that. All right, now check this next track out. It's by a band called Hey You Guys, and it's called Record Deal. The lyrics are brilliant to this.
Excuse me, I don't want to butt into your conversation. It's just that recently a few things have come to my attention. We're not Richie Manic, but we're for real. Who have we got to fuck to get a record deal? Peace have got one. What the fuck? Kasabian have got one. What the fuck? Coldplay have still got one. Me and the boys who really could use one. Razorlight have got one. What the fuck? Scouting for girls have got one. Pour 'em off, fucking hell. Who have we got to fuck to get a record deal? Excuse him, meine Freunde. I'm currently speaking to the lucrative overseas market. I can translate all these songs. It's true, I've got a friend called Keith who can help. Who have we got to fuck to get a record deal? You fucking too! Even the Chili's have got one. BDA? Seriously? Yeah, me and the boys who really could use one. Nickelback? Jesus Christ! Have the fucking Stones still got one? Stereo pissing phonics? Who have we got to fuck to get a record deal? All I'm saying is, every band listed in this song have made a lot of money for Men in Suits. We could potentially make some more money for the Men in Suits. Hello, Men in Suits! Can you hear me? Cheeky stab, boys.
And in at number 7.
And I wait until it finishes properly as well. Tiz would have messed that one up. Now, I'm not paying for all the swearing on that particular track because I just can't afford that. People have said about the stereo pissing phonic lyric. But the bit that makes me laugh is when he goes, I can translate all of our songs into 9 different languages, but it's true I do have a friend called Keith to help me with that. So moving on to the next one. Oh, hang on. Hello, XRP Radio, second-hand vibrators department. Mishappenings speaking. How may I help you?
All right, Ronnie Ryle there.
Hello, Ronnie. How are you?
Mr. Ryle to you, you scum!
Yeah, Mr. Ryled, I'm sorry.
Now, I've come here to talk about your show.
Have you? Hope you're liking it.
I don't care what that pod's Percy Perv says.
Percival Perfection, actually, but...
I thought that Coke Monster track was a great track.
Oh, nice one. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
It's not true to life, though.
It's not?
Because I snorted a kilo of cocaine once, and I didn't feel a thing. And do you want to know why?
Not really, but I'm sure you're going to tell us.
Because I'm hard.
Of course you are.
I'll tell you something else as well. The birds, right? They love me, they do.
Birds is not the most respectable title for females, though, is it?
Are you getting lippy?
No. Certainly not. I would never do anything like that.
You get lippy with me and I'll take you outside.
Outside into a pub garden. Oh, that's very nice of you.
What?
Nothing. Just carry on.
Yeah. The birds, right? I've got them coming out of my ears.
Oh, that's not a very good image I've just had there.
What'd you say?
I said I bet they love your cool hair.
Well, I've had loads of them, you know, and I stopped counting after 50.
I'm surprised you could count that far in the first place.
Are you getting lippy?
I'd never do that to you.
Do you want to take this outside?
No, you would win the fight hands down.
Right, that's all right then. Just you remember that.
I will.
I'm off.
Well, all I can say to that is... We did warn you. Yes, I apologise for the insensitivity of Ronnie Ryled. However, as the Mish Sissy Slave Girl 3 said so well, we did warn you. Isn't that so pleasant? Now, some of us bitch about Spotify and how they rip the artist off, well, completely, really. However, others don't seem to mind. A little bit like Bondo. Now, Bondo doesn't really care about sort of like selling his music and stuff like that. I keep on going high squeaky, that type of thing. Sorry about that. So yeah, Bondo is one of these people. I've done it again. I mean, Bondo doesn't give 4 flying fairies if he sells anything or nothing. In fact, he gives them away. Cheers, Bondo. Nice one, man. Actually, this is one of the few tracks that I haven't paid for. But it's a brilliant track. It's by the Street Cult Leaders, and it's called Sedition.
The Constitution says you have to protect our country, and you have to protect our Constitution. And you can't vote on fraud. And fraud breaks up everything, doesn't it? When you catch somebody in a fraud, you're allowed to go by very different rules.
I see you there, I see you failing, injecting the pain like you are commanding the people that believe. I see you there. You enter the call of a man standing so tall in your mind. He's not what it seems at all. He is the one to leave behind. Torture me with your potions and rock me insane with your pills. Got a gun to my head, and yet I will not understand. This world is your way, and yet you continue to make your demands. There's no peace in you. There's no peace in me. Tearing myself apart, get a tourniquet. I'm bleeding out. I'm bleeding out again. There's no mystery. It's just life. There is no history. Racism and all should say goodbye. Got a gun to my head, and yet I will not understand. This world is your way, and yet you continue to make your demands. I am wrong. I am wrong. I deny everything of being my own fault. I see you failing, like you are commanding the people that believe. Never be brave, never be brave. Never be brave. Never be brave, never be brave. Never be brave.
street cult leaders with Sedition. Once again, thanks to Bondo for sending me all of those goodies. Also, thanks to ALC for, bringing them over from America to then send to me from England. I mean, there was loads of things in there, from CDs to stickers to beer coasties. Beer coasties? Beer coasties? What's a beer coastie? Cue for a song. I am a beer coastie. I love to eat toasties. I do a damn good roasty, and you can't find any more lyrics. Sorry about that. So anyway, Mishappenings are actually on Spotify. I do have a couple of tracks on there. So if you want to stream away and, sort of like, wow, 1,000 streams could make me 3p. So please do it. And please do check out the video to Sedition because it does accompany the lyrics so well. Now we have a song by Black Budget. Most of the chat box are thinking, oh no, he's always requesting his Black Budget song. Can he not request anything else? Well, I will have you know, once again, you are wrong. Because it's a different song, so up yours. So this track is called PAF. P for pervert, A for, I'm not saying that word because I'll get charged for it, and F for effing. That was nearly a swear word, but not quite. Love the riff at the end of this song.
What's the fucking problem? I got nothing to do. You waste your life to think about it, tell me what to do. If you say another word, I'm gonna make you choose. I take your shit and walk away, cause that's a fucking door. Your waste, a lot of time, and a waste, our life. You're one, well a kind, and you got not a single goddamn right. If I tell you what I feel, you better cut me loose. You ought to try the heart attack, is that too much for you? Don't you say another word, that's all I ask of you. So take your shit and walk away, I'll guide you to the floor. Waste, blood time, and a waste, all alive. You're one of a kind, and you got not a single fucking right.
That riff at the end is absolutely fantastic. That was Black Budget with PAF. Riff is not really the right terminology either, because the end piece are the same notes as the verse. Example. So the drummer's playing quite fast, but it is the same notes. But then at the end, the drummer then changes his time, or does a half-speed thing, or something like that. I don't know the terminology. So it goes like this. Damn right, man! Mosh, mother's mosh! Do you know that almost makes me wet? It's the little things that please. Hang on. You leave my little thing alone. It's not my fault, man. That's why I was born. And yes, I was always requesting their other track, Do You Want It? Poor ALC nearly had a nervous breakdown because I was constantly requesting it on her requests show. Okay, it's time to make some cash for XRP Radio. So, when you hear this chord, you will know that it is question time. Don't all jump on your computers just yet because you've got a whole song to actually get the answer in. So, I'm going to donate a £5 if more than 6 people can actually answer the question. Now, I don't know how many people are going to be in the chat box, so what I'm going to do is, to make it just a little bit more interesting, if I can get 15 or more people in the chat box to give me the right answer, I'll donate a tenner! So, what is Mishappenings' favourite film? While you're pounding away on your keyboards, have a listen to this. Clusters of Eyes. This is Transformation. Featuring Troy, whoever Troy is.
on the brink. The rich pack up and head for the suburbs, leaving scraps for the rest. Neighborhoods are trashed, entire city blocks set on fire. Streets look like war zones as families huddle around television sets, wondering how the West was won. Social services cease to exist. Rubbish and trash fail to be collected. The cars that remain are either burnt or stolen. The winters are long and seem to stretch into eternity. Trains and trams stop running as drugs spill out towards the suburbs. And deep in the heart of the city, the government encourages young men to kill each other, to gain control and keep command of street corners where they will sell anything to anyone who is willing to buy. This is substance abuse that the government has produced. This is transformation. This is progress. 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 This is transformation. Looting is at an all-time high as flames engulf the city. Heightened paranoia leads to increased sales of handguns as police are regularly slain in the streets they're supposed to protect. Neighbors can only watch from the top of tenement buildings as chaos ensues. This is progress. This is transformation. 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 This is transformation. This is progress. 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 This is transformation.
That was Clusters of Eyes with This Is Transformation featuring Troy. And did you get it? Did you get the answer? Of course you did, because you're not as stupid as what I am. Of course, the answer was Return of the Living Dead. I will not be accepting The Living Dead because that's a different film. Well, actually, it depends on what mood I'm in, to be honest with you. I may let it go! Will you remember this? Please, will you remember this? Will you remember this? Please, will you remember this? Question 2. Mishappenings' favourite album is Soft Cell, This Last Night and Sodom. His favourite track is Meet Murder My Angel. That's Meet Murder My Angel. Get it into your copy and pasting and copying and pasting and pasting and copying, copying and copying. This is a track by a band called Sweet Jonny. Not really too sure why they call themselves that, but there you go. Are Johnny sweet? Oh, I suppose they may well be if you're looking at it like that. I never thought of it like that. Someone's been filth again, aren't they? Filth, I tell you. This track is called Tools of the Trade.
So you have asked me to explain it, and of course you know I can't.
Although I've been told, mate, just leave it. I could stop here, but I shan't. And you can sing about the time we filled a fear and desperation. As you have never been without control, a powerless frustration. And you will never really get it, but that doesn't mean we're wrong. And I'm so sick and tired, but I still sing along. Well, oh no, here we go, working class, and I heard you laugh. Prove me wrong, took too long, you got too big a career. Can't live here, so escape, but it's not your fight. Working class, you may laugh, but you never feel the romance and the chance that we could succeed. All in vain, at my chain, have I failed again? Just need to let it go. I'm just a tool of the trade. You have worked the factory's floor and Fridays drink into a stupor. You wonder how the hell do we survive? It's everlasting humor. And that silver started lining lies in kitchen sink romantic. And you will never know that desperate love. A wild lost their chances to work out 0 hours contract. Do work placements without pay. Can you afford to take some unpaid holiday? Well, oh no, here we go, working class, and I heard you laugh. Prove me wrong, for too long you got too big a career. Can't live here, so escape, but it's not your fate. Working class, you may laugh, but you never feel the romance and the chance that we could succeed. All in vain, yet my chain, and I failed again. Just need to let it go. I'm just a tool of the trade. So why I played the rich man's game to know I'd lose it all along. They say just put it down in writing, lyrics in a useless song. But you won't sing a final swan song, it's yours don't fall upon deaf ears. So it's as good a spot to stop as any else. Well, oh no, here we go, working class, and I heard you laugh. Prove me wrong, took too long, you got too big a career. Can't live here, so escape, but it's not your fate. Working class, you may laugh, but you never feel the romance and the chance that we could succeed. All in vain, yet my chain, have I failed again? Just need to let it go. Well, oh no, here we go, working class, and I heard you laugh. Prove me wrong, took too long, you got too big a career. Can't live here, so escape, but it's not your fate. Working class, you may laugh, but you never feel the romance in the chance that we could succeed. All in vain, yet my chain, and I failed again. Just need to let it go. I'm just a tool of the trade.
Sweet Jonny there with Tools of the Trade. Great track. Now we're going to move on to a track that I first heard on the Shade Garden. Now this is a bit of a weird band name. I'm not really too sure why they have done this. Even Juniper, when she said the band name, it didn't flow from her lips comfortably. So this is...
Excuse me?
I said this is Toddler with Big Face.
What?
I said this is Toddler with Big Face! No, wait, it wasn't me, man. It wasn't my fault. They made me say it. Help!
I want to feel
Right, so I've been let out, back on parole again as per usual, and I'm not going to say that band name. I'm just not going to say it. Yeah, the reason why ALC nearly got me arrested last time, would have been her fault, I tell you. I put in the chat box as a request on her request show saying, like, can I have a Toddler with Big Face? But I'd also put, though I don't feel comfortable typing this. She comes back with, oh, well, if that's what you're into. And I'm like, no, that's why I've just said I don't feel comfortable typing it. It's trying to get me into trouble, man. All joking aside, I'm not really too sure what they did call themselves out. Maybe one of the band members have just had a baby and they felt all woozy and doozy and all those silly little sloppiness of words. Or they actually could have named themselves that just to make DJs uncomfortable. In which case, I'm with them. Here's a band called Sins of Eve. If you happen to be there on the tag show when it first got played, towards the end, it all of a sudden just went really, really bassy, like stupidly bassy, like the engineer or producer had fell out with them or something and did it on purpose. However, on the version that I've bought, it doesn't do that. Which means Tiz was probably getting a little bit too excited, his knob fell out onto the keyboard, and he accidentally hit the bass EQ button or something. Anyway, there's a PPP point in this one. Now, this is a brilliant production, by the way, but there's one little thing that really doesn't bug me, but it is annoying. Actually, I'll donate a £5 if someone or someones can guess what that is. There's no number on this or anything, it can just be one person. I'll give you a bit of a clue, it's not the vocals, and it's also not throughout the song. Also, the instrument that I'm talking about is far too loud. Sins of Eve, with a track called I Am. Sins of Eve with I Am. A bit of a 1974, 1975 Black Sabbath crossed with a gothic female vocalist. Works for me. I would guess that people like Simo, Craig, Bondo would also appreciate that track. So, did anybody get the instrument that I was not happy with? Of course, it was the hi-hat in the verse. Pretty much a perfect mix they had, which is really difficult for an independent band to achieve. A producer or engineer could make themselves a very good reputation by doing that kind of mix. But instead, what do? They have a very loud hi-hat. I mean, why? Why? Hello, XRP Radio, where they don't seem to have any words for It's My Round. Mishappenings speaking, how may I help you?
This is Morgan Monotone.
Hello, Morgan, how are you?
I would like to put a complaint in, please.
Okay, if you must.
You are being very unkind to producers and engineers, and I would like it to stop.
Oh, come on, they deserve it!
Especially to that poor person you called Tiz.
Oh, he definitely deserves it, come on.
You are being very unfair and nasty.
I don't think I've been nasty enough.
I will fight to get you off air.
All right, hang on. How about if I play you a really, really nice tune?
I may consider that as an apology.
Okay, you're going to love this. This is an absolutely beautiful tune, especially for you.
Thank you, goodbye.
I tell you, that was like having a conversation with Greta Tombstone. Tombstone always reminds me of a half-wound-up doll. We must save the world. Hey, here's a question for you, Tombstone. On the day you pulled out all those kids from school to do that protest in Scotland, my question is, would there have been as many kids turn up if you would have had that protest on a Saturday or Sunday? Oh, the tombstones come crumbling down. Bet you haven't got an answer for that now, have you, Miss Radical? And here is the most loveliest song I promised Morgan Monotone.
I brush past your brown coat and remember your face. You're wearing the check gloves from our first date. I walk past the candle I almost broke last June. I wanted of our future, your half-drunk tea knew. My appeal to your reason is the reason I appeal. Bright lights from on high make a haze around what you understand. Bright lights from on high illuminate a lost land. I want to run, but my feet are weighed down. My doorbell rings, my freedom sound. I pull your dressing gown around me and I'm in your arms. Your cologne is fading, but my love is strong. Letters are piled up high on my bedside table. Hands that once held my waist held this paper. My appeal to your reason
And you all thought that I was going to play something really nasty there, didn't you? Well, I'm not that predictable. I am predictable, but not that predictable. That was Abigail Darcy with Freedom Sound. Now, I will have to say that I'm very pernickety on female vocals. Well, not just female vocals, male vocals as well. I mean, like, when you hear a song and you think to yourself, like, especially a new song, I mean, never a song you'd hear on XRP, obviously, and I don't listen to mainstream radio unless I'm compelled to. But you know, when you hear a new song on the radio, especially mainstream radio, as I say, and you think, oh, that's a nice song, you know, very nice harmony, lovely vocals in there. Then they get to about the second verse and they start going, and you think, what the hell have they just done to that song? Apparently, that's called soul. To me, it just sounds like they've taken a sledgehammer to a sack of cats. We did warn you. So now let's pick up the pace with a Finnish band called Deformed Dollz, and this track is called Virus. Deformed Dollz there with Virus. Dollz is spelt with a Z, by the way, just in case you wanted to look them up. There's some great bands from Finland. Simo's got a show called The Finnish Invasion, if you actually want to check that out. Some damn good stuff on that, where you can join the chat box and talk about drinking loads of beer and blood pancakes, amongst other things. So, how many of you have left now that I have slagged off soul music? It's actually not true what I say. I do actually love a little bit of Northern Soul and various other pieces of pieces. And now I'm just talking shit.
£1.
Actually, Mishgul, I've got a bone to pick with you because you have missed out on something. Oh, yes, indeed you have. You were supposed to pick me up on the word slut when I was singing the ALC song. So what good are you? I mean, you've got one job. One job. You just lay around sleeping in that casket doing absolutely nothing. Well, I'll tell you something, you better buck your ideas up because I will not have you being a casket slouch. Oh, silence. Nothing to say, hey? Yeah, not so cocky now, are we? See, people, this is how you deal with that Mishgul bastard.
£1.
Never mind about your £1. You still haven't picked me up on the word slut, you useless pile of poop.
£3.
Damn it! I'm looking for an answer to question 2. Mishappenings' favourite album is Soft Cell, This Last Night in Sodom. What is his favourite tune from it? 7 or more people type it into the chat box and you can have a $5. More than 15 people type it into the chat box and you can have a $10. But while you're typing, have a listen to my favourite XRP song of the year. Yes, this is my favourite one of the year. It's absolutely fantastic and I won't keep on going on about it. I'll just play it. This is Neon Stardust with Ghost Town.
That I am far away from home. Oh no. Feeling like an empty shell, stuck in another dimension. Nobody to turn to, nowhere to go. Uh-oh. Living in this ghost town, hoping I'll find someone and we'll get it on. This ghost town without you. Trying to keep the blues away, but I'm struggling with what to do. Everything inside me longs for you. Just over another day, a week, a month, a year. I'm feeling so lost without you here, my dear. Living in this ghost town, hoping I'll find someone and we'll get it on. Living in this ghost town, baby, we'll paint these streets, make them our own.
Ah, that is an excellent track. Neon Stardust there with Ghost Town. Tiz has his favourites, I have my favourites. Bollocks to Tiz's favourites.
£1.
Stupid girl, I tell you what, I just want to kill him in his casket. So, the answer to that last question was Meet Murder My Angel. There'll be another question coming up for you as long as I can think of one. Hello, XRP Radio, home of the roustabouts, brainless and shabby Mishappenings speaking. How may I help you?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
There you are, boyo. Farmer B. O. Wellington here.
Farmer Wellington, how are you? Notice I didn't call him by his initials.
Well, that's far farmers, you know, we're very poor.
I know you are, and you have a new 4x4 every year, don't you?
Hello?
Oh,
Hello?
I'm still here.
Are you there, boy?
Well, you sound a lot of pirate then.
That Greta Thunberg?
Greta Thunberg. Oh, that's nearly as good as Tombstone. I like that.
She scares me, you know, she scares me.
Yeah, I think she scares everybody a little bit.
So I protect the environment, I do. I really do.
Do you? Tell us how you do that.
Well, I get these plastic pants and I cover the exhaust to my tractors.
You do what?
So the fumes don't go into the sky.
Well, hang on a second. Wouldn't that make them catch fire or something?
That might be why I have to keep buying new tractors, boy.
That could be a good reason.
Hello?
Oh,
Hello?
God. Still here.
One other thing, I've got youths. I've got youths on my land.
Have you? Oh, that's not good.
They don't last long, though.
Don't they? Why? What do you do?
After I've hit them with a big dose of pesticides, they soon scarper, they do.
I bet they do.
Oh? Hello?
I'm sorry about that. He must have had a very poor signal living in the rural area that he lives in. His phone cables are probably still pieces of straw joined together with the dung. Right, so now we're going to go to a track by Craig Allen Hecht. See, this is what your DJs need in your delivery. A little bit of force, a little bit of oomph. Craig Allen Hecht! Like that, you see. That's how you do it. No, you don't do that like that. You say, Craig Allen Hecht! I'm just going to get killed by everybody before this show's over, aren't I? Ah, dear. Right, this is actually from his album. Quite an old track, I think, as it goes. But I like it. And I love the keyboards in this bit as well. Very 70s, but Craig is very sort of like 70s anyway. And he will openly admit that to you. He ain't scared, is he? So this is Skin Tight Shoes by Craig Allen Hecht.
Hey everybody, have you heard the news? I have bought myself some skin-tight shoes. They're made of plastic with a chromium heel. I got them from Kenny's on a closeout deal. The man said, hey, these shoes are it. Don't mind the size, they shrink to fit. I went to the cashier, he put them in a box. Said, now you need some skin-tight socks. I said, okay, I ain't no fool. Skin-tight footwear will make me cool. Here's my advice from me to use. Go buy yourself some skin-tight shoes.
Do you know, after all that fooling around, I don't even know if I'm actually pronouncing his second name correctly. But anyway, that's Craig Allen Hecht and Skin Tight Shoes. Great track. Craig's probably thinking, of all the tracks that I've done, you had to play that one. I just love the keyboards. Anyway, best move on. Now, this next track, I actually love the chord sequence or progression, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to slag off and say that chord sequence has all been done before. I mean, it has, but so has every other chord sequence, really. In fact, I'm going to actually attempt to do my little version of it. This guy comes up to me, he thinks it's really neat. I kicked his balls right down the street. He runs down the hill crying and screaming. Fell into a pile of dog shit that was steaming. Oh, bit of a bum ending there.
£1.
Oh, actually paying attention this time, are we, Mish Gill, you useless pile of uselessness? So I think we ought to hand it over to the people who actually can play the guitar. This is a track by Jonny Horne, and it's called Dirty Dark Garage Riot.
his garage sale. Then I decided to stop over there. There were these people building the tunnels. They have an ugly dog capping a stuffed mouse. After 40-something pinhead sound, play the top piano creepy song. An old lady was nodding on the wheelchair. Nobody really seemed to give any care to help by making a big time with a blowout dog covered on dirt and grime. I just ignored the whole situation as something glittery caught my attention. So I approached the dirty sound. I reached to pick up the shiny gown. Dirty Dog, Garage Riot! Dirty Dog, Garage Riot! The neighbor across the street tried to warn me. It was too late, I heard them get angry. The freaks are no longer sitting on their asses. I thought the shiny can was full of ashes. So they all jumped on top of me. I'm the neighbor for to set me free. Some of the people passing by joined the forces and started to fire. Dirty Dog, Garage Riot! Dirty Dog, Garage Riot! The police came out, it's over riot. The sound doesn't need to be this quiet. Turns out the setting wasn't a carousel. It was a wait for Pinhead's dear bear. Garage Riot! Dirty Dog! 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 Garage Riot!
Filthy Dark Garage Riot. Dirty Dark Garage Riot there by Johnny Horne. The other day, well, it's going to be the other month by the time this show goes out, because obviously it's pre-recorded, because that track is a bit anarcho-punk. I was in the chat box and there was another band playing who were also a very anarcho-punk band. But when I typed it into the chat box, I missed out the H. And I got pulled on it. Now, that was quite embarrassing, wasn't it? Actually, I'd had a few drinks and my spelling just goes right out of the window after a couple of drinks. I don't know why I do that and go into a chat box. That's a little bit silly, really, and I'm running out of breath. I don't know what I'm talking about, really, because my spelling's rubbish even without drink. So if you're in the chat box, Claire, there's one thing I want to say to you. Bitch. Oh, there's another lass that wants to kill me. The hit list is growing bigger and bigger. I will soon have nowhere to turn. Claire is now probably typing into the chat box, you dyslexic arsehole. Good lass, do it.
£1.
Add it onto my tab, ALC. Anyway, for this next track, I was a guest on the XRP Friendly Fire, drinking Stella through a straw. See, that's nothing to be proud of, really, is it? So Tiz gets me to pick the tracks to be entered for our side. UK against America type of thing, you know. Anyway, my first track is played, then Bill's track is played, the American side. Then the chat box voted for what they thought was the best song. And my choice lost! So I just blamed Tiz and said it was his fault for letting me pick the songs. Anyway, I do like this track. I don't care if anybody else doesn't. So this is a demo version by a band called Holograms of the Skyline. The track is called Complicated.
I take the call, I share your shame, I break the fall, reset the game. Get it to the limit of the verb to the blame. I save the text, I leave the flame, I crave the sex, delete the claim. Get it to the limit of the epilogue's name. So how can I stop the rainfall? How can I calm the storm? How can I be so frozen in hearts that once were warm? How can I break the cycle? How can I seek the shade? How can I explain All I can say is it's complicated, feeling naked. The words are knives, edges serrated, and it's complicated, feeling naked. With words and knives out, eviscerated, and it's complicated, complicated, and it's complicated, complicated. I block the calls, I drive the lane, I watch it fall, drive you insane. Get it to the limit of no need to explain. I make the bed, I lie in pain, deny the dead, I drop the frame. Get it to the limit of the epilogue's name. So how can I stop the rainfall? How can I calm the storm? How can I be so frozen in hearts that once were warm? How can I break the cycle? How can I seek the shade? How can I explain? All I can say is it's complicated, feeling naked. The words are knives, edges serrated, and it's complicated, feeling naked. With words and knives out, eviscerated, and it's complicated, complicated, and it's complicated, complicated, and it's complicated, complicated, and it's complicated, complicated. So how can I stop the rainfall? How can I calm the storm? How can I be so frozen in hearts that once were warm? How can I break the cycle? How can I seek the shade? How can I explain? All I can say is it's complicated, feeling naked. The words are knives, edges serrated, and it's complicated, feeling naked. With words and knives out, eviscerated, and it's complicated, complicated, and it's complicated, complicated, and it's complicated, complicated, and it's complicated, complicated.
Holograms of the Skyline there with a track called Complicated. That is the demo version, but I actually think that sounds quite good, to be honest with you. They seem to be pretty much another Spotify-only band. Well, I say Spotify only, I mean, they're probably on Apple and all that sort of stuff, or iTunes, whatever it's called, I don't know. But they are available to buy at XRP. For those people like myself who prefer I've forgotten what I prefer. An MP3 or WAV file or something like that. I mean, XRP are only MP3, but yeah, you know what I'm saying. A physical thing! We love the physical things! So let's turn things around a little bit with a one-personage band called Karneh. Or at least I think that's how it's pronounced. Actually, that sounds like a little bit of a weird martial arts or something, doesn't it? Karneh!
Calm yourself down, please.
Anyway, this person plays everything himself, and I think he makes a lot of his instruments as well. That's what I think. I could be wrong, and I usually am. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing this track correctly. It's called Lovi, I think. Spelt L-O-V-I. So this is Kunnon! Karneh there with Lovi. I apologise for the incorrect pronunciation there, but then I can hardly speak English, so what do you expect? Now we are heading over to Shipper 63. I bought this album from Bandcamp on the Bandcamp Fridays. And I think this album was up for... Well, you didn't have to pay anything, to be honest with you, but I did because I'm very kind like that and I'm very supportive. So I threw them some scratch. Is that what you say? They are also available on XRP where you can download the MP3. That rhymed.
That bloody drummer's looking at my zoids.
You just get worse, don't you? Worse, I tell you. Let's get serious. So if you're into bands like Joy Division, Depeche Mode, Susie and the Banshees, there was another one I was going to mention. Can't think of it now. But you're going to love this stuff, and I'll have to say, they even throw a hillbilly influenced one on this album. So with Shipper 63, you really never know what's coming next. I love it! Don't you love it? This is a track called Underground. Shipper 63 there with Underground. Really atmospheric song, and I love that bass sound in that as well. God, I sounded really southern there, didn't I? Ronnie Riles would have been proud. Okay, so we're going to move on to... Actually, I'm not really too sure what you'd categorise this as. For those of you who are into your 80s music, this reminds me a little bit of some Sylvian and Sakamoto stuff. Another one-man band, and this is a great one-man band title. He calls himself Slowcookedgoose, and this track is called Corruption. Slowcookedgoose there with Corruption. The Goose and I have had many conversations in the shade garden. Actually, it's usually him trying to get me out of the shit that I put myself into.
£1.
Count it up, Countess. Actually, I think Juniper, who presents the Shade Garden radio show on a Sunday, was the female vocalist for that track. Hello, XRP Radio, home of the unwashed louts and depraved perverts. Mishappenings speaking. How may I help you?
Colonel Grenade here. Attention!
What the?
Sorry about that. Been in army too long. Old habits die hard.
I can only imagine.
Just called to tell you, liking your show.
Oh, excellent. Thank you very much for that.
Well, I'm liking the music. I don't understand the dribble that you're running on, but the music is good.
The dribble that I'm what?
Fall out!
Oh, he's off again.
Sorry about that. Shrapnel in the brain from World War II.
You got to be over 98 to be in that war, haven't you?
Yes, Mumsy took one in the stomach while making a gas mask.
Oh, what, a bullet?
No, a gas mask.
No, I mean, never mind.
Right, best dash. Got machine guns to oil.
It's very good of you to phone us up, Colonel Grenade. Thank you very much for that.
Roger and out.
Yes, and you.
Will you remember this? Please, will you remember this? Will you remember this? Please, will you remember this?
Hell, that was a bit of a bum note at the end there. The Mish Sissy Slave Girl 3 have obviously been on the gin. Mishappenings is not always an ignorant tosswit, just most of the time. But here's question 3. I do love to see butterflies and ladybirds. I mean the insects, you filthy-minded people. Mind you, there is some hot ladybirds out there. Don't get me started on that. So we are into our last half an hour now, and I bet you're all glad of that, aren't you? This track is apparently about TV porn. Filth. You wouldn't ever catch me writing songs like that. This is by the Spike Direction Effect, and it's called Babestation Blues.
But the money's okay.
Babestation Blues there by the Spike Direction Effect. Thanks to everybody who's actually still here. If you can put up with me for 2 hours, you can pretty much do anything. You are the strongest. Thanks for answering these stupid questions I'm compiling, so we can keep XRP running. Now that would be good, wouldn't it? Hey, just imagine having a wooden tit. Your nipples would be constantly erect, so you could hang your shopping bags from. You could varnish it a different colour every day if you wanted to. And the only thing you'd have to worry about is woodworm. Plus...
Silence! This is childish and will stop right here.
Sorry. I overstepped the mark there. I got a bit excited. I couldn't help it. I do apologise.
You are a delinquent nincompoop.
It won't happen again. Maybe.
It's all in daft-ass humour.
Okay, another one of my faves. Well, these are all my faves because I've bought them. This is a band called Like What, and the track is called Dark is the Night. Like What there with Dark is the Night, and I really wish I hadn't done a phone-in. Hello, XRP Radio, Soiled Underwear Department. The Mish speaking, how may I help you?
Rude person!
Okay, not too sure what that was about. By the way, Mish Girl, you've forgotten to pick me up on the word, wouldn't it?
£3.
About time, you useless pile of broken scrotum. So, now we come to the most horrific part of the show. It's been suggested that I do an acoustic version of one of my songs. I think it was Craig, but it could have been Bondo or Simo. Whoever it was, they suggested doing an acoustic version of Night of the Swans. Well, thanks for that, because you've picked a song that's been strictly written on keyboards, and you want me to turn it into an acoustic guitar version when you already know I'm absolute rubbish at playing guitar! I hate guitars! I hate them so much! Still, I've done my best. I'm going to dedicate this to ALC because one, she's the Countess and deserves a dedication, and there is no number two. Here is my justification. This will be the first time that Mishappenings has ever played anything live. I mean, I don't mean all my life, I just mean Mishappening stuff. This is Night of the Swans by Mishappenings. Let's see how much I can mess this up. One night when I was painting the town red, the main objective was to get some lass into bed, dressed up so cool, right up to the nines. Downed a few drinks, I was feeling fine. No time to make the play made me. She was alright, quite a sight to see. Chatting away, we were soon talking sex. I think we all know what is coming next. A few more drinks, danced and a cab. She knew what she wanted to really grab. I felt the same, did some slight touching up. I paid the cabbie as he wished me luck. I never thought I would need any help, but I need a Swan Vesta. Oh, I can't do that beatbox thing. This is where you need tears. Pick it up. Inside her flat, she poured another drink. I'm hoping that the bruise doesn't make me sink. Getting more randy as we talk away. Pray now she doesn't tell me that she is gay. Both leaning closer, now we're nearly there. Contact is imminent, we'll make that pair. She pushed me back, knowing I am in her grasp. She orders, you are going to take me up the arse. I never thought that I would need any help, but I need a Swan Vesta. I'm not doing that beatbox thing ever. Let's pick up to a bit of distortion. Shagging away and I feel so good. She screams, I'm coming, like I knew she would. Thrust even harder, I feel so strong. I scream, I'm coming, but there's something wrong. My lust is there, but it's not coming out. Don't really know what it's all about. Still carry on because she's crying, don't stop. You come inside me, then I'll go on top. I never thought that I would need any help, but I need a Swan Vesta. Still I've not come, but I have to pull out to check what's wrong with my dirty spout. I look in horror as I see my brown end. The soil has gone right up the eye of my friend. I look around and I spot a Swan Vesta on the table where I was going to rest her. I stick it up my eye and twist and turn. Both dirt and cum sprayed out all over her furniture. I never thought I would need any help, but I need a Swan Vesta. I never thought that I would need any help, but I need a Swan Vesta. Oh, that was bloody awful. Sorry about that.
£1.
It probably deserved £100 for that terrible rendition. That was Mishappenings with Night of the Swans, the acoustic version, if you can call it that. Dedicated to ALC. ALC is one of my #1 fans. In fact, she's probably my only fan. She can list off Mishappenings song titles like a fury. So let's keep it acoustic and hand it over to somebody who can actually play the guitar. This is a bloke I came across only this year, actually. Juniper Instagrammed me this song because of its political content. Understandably, she was a little bit concerned about playing it. She got a little bit scared, didn't she? I had to force my power upon her! And then she kicked me in the head and said, bog off toilet breath. But I still convinced her to play it, and I'm now going to do the same thing. This is Ryan Fox with Thump Donald Trump.
There's a problem I've been having that troubles me of late. There's a man in the White House spewing words of hate. His name is Donald Sr., but he acts like a boy. Someone ought to tell him the world is not his toy. I'm gonna thump Donald Trump, thump him in the head. I'm gonna thump Donald Trump for the stupid things he said. I'll make a muddy fist to make sure he gets the gist, so you can check it from your list. I'm gonna thump Donald Trump in the head. He's done nothing much of late but make Kim Jong seem less mad, and wear that stupid toupee, it looks really, really bad. To think he has the power to start World War III, but I doubt thump him in the head. I'm gonna thump Donald Trump for the stupid things he said. I'll make a muddy fist to make sure he gets the gist, so you can check it from your list. I'm gonna thump Donald Trump in the head. And if you get the chance, say you'll do it too. If not for me, then do it for you and the rest of us too. All together now, I'm gonna thump Donald Trump, thump him in the head. I'm gonna thump Donald Trump for all the stupid things he said. I'll make a mighty fist to make sure he gets the gist, so you can check it from your list. I'm gonna thump Donald Trump in the head. Donald Trump, thump him in the head. I'm gonna thump Donald Trump for all the stupid things he said. Yeah, I'll make a mighty fist to make sure he gets the gist, so you can check it from your list. I'm gonna thump Donald Trump in the head. Thump him in the head for all the stupid things he said. I'll make a mighty fist to make sure he gets the gist, so you can check it from your list. I'm gonna thump Donald Trump in the head.
Thump Donald Trump there by Ryan Fox, and why not? Hello, XRP Radio, home of the unsigned and independent music, and I bet you thought I was going to say something stupid there, didn't you? Mishappenings speaking, how may I help you?
All right?
It's you again, Mr. Riled.
Yeah, you best know that's me. I make an impression, I do.
You certainly do.
Well, I've just come to talk about that Raymond fix.
Yeah, Ryan Fox, actually, but...
I like that song, and do you want to know why?
Of course we do. Not.
He was right.
You think so, do you?
Because that Donald Duck is a
Oh, you just had to, didn't you?
I mean, look at him, with that stupid beak wearing a big nappy.
Yeah, well, you probably have a point, but can I just ask you not to use the C word, please?
Are you trying to tell me how I can talk?
No.
Do you think you're something special, do you?
No, it's just I have to put a beep over it and I'm too lazy.
Think you're better than anybody else, do you?
No, I don't.
Well, I'll show you who's better outside now.
I wonder how long he'll be waiting outside before he actually realises that I won't be turning up. So, there is this DJ on XRP Radio called Andrew from For God's Sake. Oh dear, FGA, look who's got the microphone now. Look now. Oh, my revenge will be very sour. I call him FGA for short, but actually I call him a lot of other things. Thinking about it, it must be quite weird for newcomers to the chat box, because when I come into the chat box, my phrase is, hello people. But if I come into the chat box and FGA is there, my phrase is, hello people, fuck you FGA.
£1.
That pound was worth it. FGA and I have a little bit of a love-hate relationship going on. Well, actually, it's more of a hate-hate relationship, but that's beside the point. FGA is a troublemaker. Let me give you an example. He'll come into the chat box and he'll ask like a really ridiculous question for people who are being interviewed. The thing about it is some of his questions are a little bit over the mark. He does this on purpose, by the way, and that's FGA for you. But he'll ask these ridiculous questions, then he'll leave the chat box with everybody arguing over whether the question's out of order or not, and whether we can ask it to the poor person who's being interviewed. Then about 25 minutes later, he comes back in and he goes, what have I missed? What have you missed? What have you missed? You know what you've done. In fact, I bet you haven't left the chat box. You're still there reading, aren't you? Sitting behind your laptop or computer or whatever you sit behind. Trouble. Just trouble. That's what you are. So because he is always saying that Mishappenings stuff is rubbish, and I'm always saying For God's Sake stuff is rubbish, I'm going to play a For God's Sake track. £10 donated if you all get into the chat box and slag this track off. This track is called Benidormals, in brackets, unvarnished. Did you all slag it off? I hope you did. That was For God's Sake with Benidormal's Unvarnished. See, if FGA had a wooden tit, he wouldn't varnish it, so that means he would get woodworm.
£1.
So lazy. Lazy! The thing about it is I actually do quite like that song. Just don't tell that scumball. There is one thing about Andrew that you can't deny. He does this show called Not Your Usual Beat, and sometimes he busts scammers. Now, who doesn't like busting scammers? So we are coming to the end of the show now. This is the last track coming up. I would like to thank everybody who's managed to put up with me for the last 2 hours. Thank you so much for joining me. I apologise if I've mispronounced any band name or track title, but then I am not a professional DJ. In fact, I am not a professional anything. Thanks to the Mish City Slave Girl 3 who are now drunk. No thanks to the Mish Ghoul at all. Big thank you to ALC, or Countess ALC, who is now going to be counting up the total. She'll then put the amount in the chat box. I'm sure the next DJ who takes over from this show will give out the amount as well. A massive shout out goes to all the DJs at XRP, apart from Andrew from For God's Sake, because they do an absolute fantastic job here and they do it voluntarily. Also, a massive thanks goes out to the DJs who have been playing Mishappenings stuff for probably the last 2 years now. Incidentally, this incidental music you're hearing in the background is by my guitarist. Well, I say my guitarist, I don't actually own him, but he is the new Mishappenings guitarist. And he, unlike me, can actually play the guitar. He goes by the name of Random Car Park. Don't ask, I didn't. He's decided to revamp some of my old stuff from about 20 to 30 years ago. It will be absolutely fine until I put the vocals on it. Please keep on listening, please keep donating, please keep XRP running. Did that work doing that low voice there? Also, I have been informed that Juniper did not sing the vocals on the Slowcookedgoose track. Rather than the Misguided show, this show should have been called the Misinformation Show. Final question, and then we leave you with the last track. What are Mishappenings' 2 favourite insects? £5 for 6 people or more, £10 for 15 people or more. Now we're going to leave you with a track from the Blood Pancake Man himself. This is SER with a track called Again. You all know this one. Sorry, Simo, your track might be faded out halfway through because I've run over time. He says, well, if you stop running on all the dribble that you've been running on for the last 2 hours, you may have been able to fit my track all in. He's right, I'm wrong. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. See ya, people.
Again, I walk that line. Again, shivers up my spine. Open the door, enter the crowd. What was the score? This is just a fraud.
Don't you see